I'm Lise Colucci, one of Queen Being's life coaches, and I'm in the dark, so let me turn on a light. There we go. Light. Hello. Hi. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm one of Queen Being's life coaches. My name is Lise Colucci, and I'm here to offer you support as you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships. And people are already here. How exciting. Hello. Cindy is here. Life's Revival. Hello. You know what? I am silly that I didn't put on my larger screen, so I'm going to have to lean forward, okay? Actually, give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. No one can read this, right? Sorry, this is bad. But if I can make it so I can see, we'll be better. I wonder if I can log off. I'm going to just talk and do it this way, like a crazy person here. Okay, so I'm back. Today we had a really exciting, we had an exciting live stream this morning with Angie over on Angie's channel that was the book release party for the book Evolution of Echo. And there is a party going on Facebook. If you head over there today, there is an event with the name Evolution of Echo. And I'll put a link below if I can figure out how to do it. If not, somebody help me. But excuse me. If you go there, there's lots of prizes and giveaways, such as Angie has a lot of courses or books and things like that, and little gifts. And all the rest of the coaches have free coaching opportunities. So head over there and put your name in under one of the contests, whichever one suits you the most, and let's get that going. So, okay, I'm going to say hi to people. I'm just going to scoot in. It's the way it goes today. Cindy, how are you? How are you? Everyone's asking how everyone is. This is great. Okay. Hi, Lise. You had a really long day. I got up at 4, okay, and I haven't stopped. It's kind of crazy, but it's okay. It's good. I enjoy it. So I'm going to get right started with a question that I asked. I asked coming into this if anyone in the support group had any questions, I let them know it would be read on live YouTube. So this is agreed that I read this. I'm not going to give names. But one person says, one thing they consistently struggle with is maintaining boundaries with my ex-narc. I've established boundaries, and of course, he's constantly attempting to knock them down. We share a daughter, so going complete no contact has been impossible, but I do attempt to limit the communication. She'd love some insight on how to quickly get back on track and reinstate her boundaries when she gets weak. Sometimes the empath in me fails or falls for his tricks without even realizing until later. I want to continue to keep evolving and growing. That's a really great question. How do you maintain boundaries? And for anyone in here, answer, because it's a great question. How do you maintain boundaries when you have to deal with someone toxic? It doesn't have to be your narc, or your narc, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that, but maybe it does. Maybe that's what you have to deal with. How do you maintain boundaries, and what are those boundaries, and how do you know what is, I'm all unsettled. I'm sorry. I got up at 4. It's a crazy day. So I would say, number one, know what those boundaries are. Sometimes we are kind of vague and not super clear with ourselves what the boundaries are. We have an idea, like maybe I'm just going to make something up. I don't want to agree to any late visitation. Okay, but what does that actually mean? Does that mean 5 minutes? Does that mean an hour? What does that actually mean? So be very clear with yourself what your boundaries actually are, and realize that you're dealing with this person in a business-like manner. You're not dealing with them in an emotional level anymore. You no longer have to deal with that emotional crap that they're going to put on you. You're free to deal with it on the lowest level of communication that you possibly can, and in a very business-like fashion. And just, I always say polite and frank. You don't need to be rude, and maybe you'd want to, but anything you give them is going to instigate more supply going toward them. So good or bad, I just feel like a straight answer that pertains to the kids, that's enough when you're dealing with the kids. Depends which boundaries they're crossing, but knowing your boundaries is the start. So Gray Rock, I think it's Tam I can't. I'm sorry. I really should have glasses on, but I don't. She says gray rock all the possible times with them. Absolutely, and that's kind of what I'm saying is gray rocking it, and knowing, like I said, once you're clear what your boundary actually is, and then being really firm with the gray rock, even if they start reaching, put touching the empathy button, so to speak. So even if they are drawing empathy out of you, it's okay to feel empathy. You don't have to act on every piece of empathy you have in your life. Just imagine them a stranger and you're going to gray rock them the way you would anyone that you're not intimate with. So they don't have access to your heart anymore. You only have to give them information. Once I realize, Life Survival says, once I realize that the person has no real interest in me as a person, I walk away and go gray rock. Yes, exactly. And that's perfect. And Carlita Vega, hello, it says, I only communicate via text or email. Thank you. Yes, with narcs. I also take my time to answer. Absolutely. That way they don't give an emotional response. I love that. I always suggest to people that they only use email because people, and text is fine. If that works for you, fabulous. For some people, what happens with the text is they get into then the text drama with the narc because the narc expects, like most of us expect, I should say, most people expect a reply within a few minutes to an hour when you get a text, especially when it's someone you have any closeness to. You expect a quick reply, unless, of course, they're at work or something where they actually can't reply. But with an email, who emails all day long? Most people check it once or twice a day. And I mean, maybe some people do, but most people don't, not for personal stuff. So it limits the expectation of reply to use email. And then that is a way to just like put a boundary there because you're not going to reply to them. And I like that taking your time to answer is great. So maybe don't reply to texts right away. Maybe give yourself a boundary of saying, I will reply in 1 hour unless it's urgent. I'll reply in not even an hour. Maybe I'll reply in 12 hours, whatever your decision is to make on that. So that gives you time to think about your answer and to get it as minute and gray rocky as you can before you put it into words and send. Oh, hi. It is me. I see. Hi. Let's see. Misty Dawn, hi. It says, I only communicate through email and I don't ask questions. So he does not reply. Absolutely. Don't ask questions back. Don't ask how's your day. I mean, true gray rock across the board. It's really the best way. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about tonight? I am happy to answer any questions or I'll just keep talking. As I do. And then I'm going to keep it short because I have one more thing to do tonight. Actually, I have two more things. I have Harry Potter night I have to go to. So that'll be interesting. But anyway, let's see. Anybody have, and I'm going to read back a bit because I think I skipped some people. You've been kind of blah today. What's going on, Cindy? Why are you blah? What's happening? You don't know why. It's just the gloomy weather. Maybe. What do you do when you feel blah? Do you do anything to pep yourself up, or do you just like let the blah be there? Or, I mean, some days that's okay, right? Just be blah. It's okay. But are there ways that help you? What kind of self-care can you start putting into those blah days so they don't become blah weeks? Some suggestions might be if you think it's the gloomy weather to get some bright colors around you. Wear bright colors, as I'm wearing gray on the gray day, but wear bright colors, put on bright lipstick, anything that brightens up your day can help. Nobody is, okay, good. All right. That can help with the blahs. And then, knowing that you are doing something for yourself also can help. Gratitude lists can help on those days. Let's see, Diana, hi. It says, lately I've been singing your feelings. Sorry, I really can't see tonight. Probably to the dismay of my neighbors. Okay, I doubt it. It's probably lovely, and I love that you're just singing your feelings. That's a great release when you sing like that, isn't it? It's lovely. Turn on music and sing, says Carlita Vega. There's another sing, so I think we're gonna sing tonight. I'm not actually gonna sing, but maybe you guys will. Yeah, that's a great one. Singing. Yeah. What do you sing? What kind of stuff do you like to sing? Um, music is great for those days, for those blah days. I mean, you know, Netflix and spacing out is fine and it's great when you need it, but there's something about music and you can just sit there and be blah and listen to music and you feel better. It doesn't, or you just feel the emotion of the blah, which is okay too. Dinah says, literally, my frustration, kind of channel my own stuff. Oh, that's awesome. You just sing what you're feeling. You like literally sing with your feeling. I love that. That's like a child in a way. And I mean that in a good way. Like when you see children and they just sing their creed, so to speak, they sing whatever's on their heart. And you know, it's um, like a release of that emotion. I love that. You can do that. I'm really impressed. Lots of older 60s and 70s too. Yeah, I did it as a little girl too, right? I'm just thinking of one of my children who does that like pretty much constantly. It's great. I get myself, Life Revival says, I get myself up and do something, anything I can find to do. Yeah, getting some action in your body really does help when you are blah, especially from the weather blah, or just you don't know why. That's great. Um, I think every live stream is going to end up about self care because it's kind of where my head goes all the time. But anything else that is not self care related? How about I don't have another topic that people have brought up, so I'm going to keep talking about the book release. Has anyone been over there yet? And does anyone have the book? Um, and if so, what do you think? Let's see. Life Rebel says, "Oh, you had a Munchausen parent, not present." Yeah, that's. Let's see. Tam, you said I'm in and out of there. Don't have it. Don't have the book yet. Okay. Yeah. Life Rebel says yes. You love it so far. Sorry, that's how hard it is to read, you guys. It's really funny. It's like teeny tiny. Why didn't I put it on my big screen? I don't know. You're excited to get it after this morning's stream. That was awesome, says Diana. Yeah, it was great. And hearing the stories and then connecting with the faces of the people who are telling these stories and just these beautiful people that went through horrible things, but then they had the courage to come out and tell their stories. It's really impressive, and it's really wonderful that they shared like that. Carlita says, I think empaths need to do more self-care. Yeah, absolutely. We take care of everyone else. We need to love on ourselves. We sure do. Like all the time, like more than there is someone local to me, and he's a healer, and he was asked how he stays healthy because of the type of job he does and the kind of stress he's under. And he said half of his day is for his clients and the other half is for himself. And it has to be that way. And he says in some days he has to do a little more, like 3/4 of his day for himself. Literally self-care, not just like doing what he wants, but like literally taking care of his body, his spirit, his emotions. And it's so true. We can't go through life just taking care of other people. Cindy says, maybe I need to do that. I've been feeling blah all day, cold and cloudy in Louisiana. Yeah, try it. Any of those things, anything that makes you feel alive, it's great. Even baking or doing something cozy like that, can be fun. It depends what you like, Um, what am I missing here? Misty, I'm 50% through the book and I love it so far, but it makes me sad. Yeah, it does. It's hard to read stories when they're close to your own story. Even though the actual story is completely different, but the emotion behind it, it's hard. It's hard. It's very triggering. And I'm hoping that the chapters Colleen and myself added at the end will help with that and give a sort of balance and a little bit of hope for healing. So let me know what you think. Hi, Nicole. Hi, my friend. You love that. Yeah. Ha, ha, ha. Painting too, or crafts or artsy stuff. Yes. Or sketching or anything that lovely space that you can get into when you're creative, even if you don't like what you create, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're just doodling. Just something to get you into that creative space can help break that blah. Absolutely. Yes, Diana, play with and make a mess. Tam says, make a mess. Time in nature, says Diana. Yes, that can help too, especially, it's kind of on gray, cold days here, at least, it can have that lovely, not romantic, but you know what I mean, that feeling on a gray day when you're out in nature where the greens are greener because it's so gray out. I don't know. It can be really beautiful to be outside on those days, even if it's freezing cold and you can only do it for 10 minutes. Nicole says, I'm starting to put my way of thinking on the back burner while continuing to learn. That's really helpful. It takes you out of the emotional dark space. It totally does. Yeah. Are you in the Pacific Northwest? I certainly am. Nicole, yes. Love gray days. Aren't they great? They can be. And they can also be, Cindy was talking about them making her feel blah. So sometimes it's just turning it around, turning your intention and attitude around. And I mean that in a positive way, not. Misty says, I think the hardest part of all of the survivors that have had to deal with the abuse their entire lives. It makes me happy. I removed my kids from that environment. It's so true. To people who don't know whether or not they should leave or they stay in for the kids, it can be really hard to read about this, but it's really important to understand that it does affect them. And it can affect them for the rest of their life. So getting out, if you can, everyone has to make their own choice. And there are different levels of narcissism and different levels of abuse. So I'm not saying everyone has to leave, but if they have kids. But if you're staying for the kids, it can really help to hear the stories of the lifelong abuse from people who have suffered it from their parents. Because you can then do as Misty says and realize it is so much better to have them removed from the situation. You lived in Olympia for 5 years. It's so pretty up there. Yeah, it is. Yes, magnesium salts are my friend. I miss those Northwest hot springs. Yeah, it's better for the kids and less fighting and trauma that they witness. It absolutely is. It's way better for the kids. It's a hard one. That's a hard call to make. And I think you're right, Misty. It's really sad, and it's also really important people hear it. So, right, and even if you've had, can you hear the crazy sounds upstairs? My kids are going crazy. It's Harry Potter night. It's really distracting me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get professional now. What was I talking about? Remind me. Anyone know? I don't know. The kids. Anyway, anyone got anything else tonight? I'm going to keep it pretty short, probably like 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to head out. And I have a group coaching tonight. I'll talk a little about that. I have a new group coming up starting. I have my calendar starting on the 19th, which is a Monday. It runs Monday or Friday at 6 p.m. And it will be Personal Power is the series, and it will be self-esteem. So we're going to have some fun, and we're going to try and build self-esteem and create some ideas and get some goals set for how to accept that you can have self-esteem to begin with, but really, how to take self-care and really build yourself up. So I think, yes, I'm excited too, Nicole. I think this one's going to be fun, and it's howl time. It is howl time. I don't know. It's owl time for sure. I don't know. You can't hear them now, but you wish you could. No, you don't. Really loud. There's like crazy banging and all kinds of stuff. Sounds great. Yeah, I think it'll be fun, and I think the most important part about it is that the self-esteem is accepting who you are and being okay with who you are and building upon that can, I think, Nicole's laughing. Yeah, I think that can awaken a whole different kind of power for people. And well, I know it can. So I'm excited to see what happens in there. Anyway, you're, yes, not just tolerating yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, not just tolerating yourself, but actually um, accepting who you are, and not that you have to make yourself better to be something great. You already are great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to build it up from nothing. You just have to accept who you are, and the self-esteem can come in a different way. So, Nicole, that's my thinking. Yes, I tolerate. More self-care I'm starting to really think of myself. Absolutely. And I'm so glad, because you are amazing, amazing, amazing. Nicole is amazing, you guys. And if she could see who she is the way like I see who she is, or other people see who she is, she would just love herself. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that helps. And Cindy says, not to sound dumb, but how do you know who you are? Well, that's part of the discovery, and that isn't dumb. That's a great question. Who am I? And I think it's paying attention to, for myself, it's like when I'm comfortable and, I'm being really goofy tonight, but that's kind of who I am. And so I'm not going to, pretend to be something else, and realize that I can accept that part of myself. I don't have to like make it even goofier, and I don't have to do much with it. I just have to be myself and be present. And in that, I can feel good about it. I don't need to, be all critical of myself. So I think it's just seeing the way you are in life, and it's a process of learning. I can't tell you who you are. You discover it. That's the part of it. And that's kind of, I don't know if anyone in here in coaching with me wants to reply, but that's kind of what the whole process of the self-care group is. And actually all the groups, but is kind of discovering who you are and learning to love yourself. So, and Tam says, same thing, Nicole. The more I practice self-care, the more confidence in me. I'm right now, it keeps moving. And right now, and how exciting to see where we will be in weeks and months and years. Absolutely. And yeah, that's great. And Nicole can't wait. Misty says, I'm not sure how to find my worth. Oh, okay. It's something I have never thought of, but I am sure I don't know my worth. It's a great question to hold. What is my worth? Because then you have an aim, to discover about yourself. So the more you put attention and focus on caring for yourself and loving yourself in kind ways, the more your worth shows. When you see yourself being devalued by anyone and you stand up for yourself, you feel your worth. When you see yourself being devalued and you don't stand up for yourself, you feel your lack of worth. When you have to be quiet, because that is standing up for yourself can be silence. It doesn't have to be, bold and in your face. It's however you personally stand up for yourself. But when you see yourself not taking care of yourself, you start to see that you're not meeting your own expectations. And that's where your worth that I'm talking about, you can start to discover. I don't know if that makes sense, but Tam says, yes, I remember the first time we talked about it, how I didn't know who I am. Are you discovering now a little bit about who you are as you're working? And hi, Violet. I find fighting, let's see, figuring out the lies you've been told. Okay, she says, I find that figuring out the lies I've been told about who I am has been a good first step, process of elimination. That's true too. That's exactly a good point, because if you start to realize you are not your programming, you're not the lies that were told to you, or the manipulations that were placed in your head, then who you really are starts to have a voice. And it's kind of just a matter of, like she said, a matter of process of elimination. That's a great point. Thank you. Nicole says, self-care has helped me in ways I cannot explain yet. Right. Nicole says, coaching has saved my life. I'm so glad, because your life is worth saving, my dear. Cindy says, knowing your likes, dislikes, what makes you happy or whatever type of thing, that's part of it. That's a lot of it. I mean, you can start there. I think, it's sort of like as you start going down the path of discovering who you are, so to speak, like if you met someone today and you went to lunch with them or whatever, you would learn that they like certain foods and they dislike certain things, and we'd have conversations about your likes and dislikes, and you'd know a little piece of them. And as you spend more time with them, you learn a little bit more about them. So it's basically spending time with yourself in the same way and having interest in yourself in the same way, so you can discover parts of yourself. It's being able to sit with your emotions and just have them, and realize that your whatever your emotions are safe. You're allowed to have your emotions, and those emotions are part of who you are. It's things like that. It evolves as you're going, and starting with what your my likes and dislikes is a great way to start. Um, Diana says, yes, building my sense of value is at the top of my to-do list these days. Great. Yes, I love it. All these people, Tam, Misty, self-care, coaching, really helped open the door to finding out who I am. Yeah. Still discovering and learning my worth. It's awesome. And Nicole says, yes. Whoops. You don't have to respond. Okay. Tam says, coaching helped, especially the self-care. Yeah. It's having a group like that to work with, so you're not all alone. I think that's why it's been so helpful for the people that are in there. I know it helps me to be around you guys. Misty says, "Okay, I get it now. It does make sense. Okay, thank you. Luckily, I will not have to defend myself from being devalued." Yeah, exactly. You let the culprit behind. Well, even in life, like, okay, you could say when you're at, I don't know, a random store and someone's kind of rude, and you have a reaction to it. Um, the way you handle your reaction can also be a way of finding your worth. I mean, you don't have to like get all over people and have like massive reactions, but maybe setting boundaries and being able to keep them, you find your worth. Like maybe your friends want you to do stuff all the time and you say yes when really you want to say no, and you start saying no, and you just keep that no, and you keep the no in a positive way. You're not saying no, no, no to everything. You're just, you placed a boundary. No, this is my time. I need to be doing this instead. That gives you a sense of worth, because every time you create a boundary that means something to you and you stick to it, even if it's uncomfortable, on the other side of that discomfort is a sense of worth. So it's things like that. Tam says, Cindy, that's a part of it, but it's so much more difficult to explain, but it's deep stuff too. Yeah, it's like one thing builds upon the other. Absolutely. And it's and everybody's different, so you evolve with that. Violet, I totally get the question, Cindy. I was raised by a narc, and now I am divorcing a narc. I spent so much of my life molding into what they wanted. Yes, and it gave me a huge identity crisis. Yeah, that's totally, and Tam is feeling you there. Nicole says, yeah, I'm sorry, Violet, that is exactly the problem, that can happen. And so, baby steps of discovering who you are and making it fun, because it doesn't have to be a chore. All this stuff, healing is hard enough. Self-care does not have to be hard. It can be, sometimes it is, and sometimes it's like, but it can also be light. And, like I said, if you were discovering something new about somebody else, it wouldn't be a chore. It would be interesting. So it's sort of like learning to have that attitude about yourself, that you are interesting, and taking interest in yourself is not hard. It's just a matter of shifting the attitude. And then you do start to discover who you are. Nicole says, sitting with my emotions was rough at the beginning. Yeah. I think it has helped me to just let myself be in the moment. Totally. Yeah. It makes a lot. Mindfulness and being able to be present to your emotions is huge. And if we've had to dissociate, which most of us have, it can be difficult for a while until we learn it's safe. Nicole says, I meant it is okay to be silent. Yes, it is. I don't have to answer anyone. Oh, okay. I don't want to feel, I'm sorry. My vision. Gonna keep moving on. Okay. Tam says, always, Cindy, remember adding those things. And she's so excited for the journey ahead of you. Yes, it's going to be incredible. It will be, Cindy. You just keep going, and that's the whole point. You don't fail unless you stop. You just keep going. And some days are blah and yucky, and so what? have another day tomorrow, or if you feel blah and yucky today, Cindy, my suggestion, here's my exercise should you take it. Before bed, make a 10 things you are grateful for list, 3 things you love about yourself. Includes you in that gratitude, even if it's teeny tiny things. It doesn't have to be big and monumental. Make that list before bed. And before you go to sleep, get really comfortable and notice how comfortable you are. Notice, like, "Oh, I love my pillow," or whatever it is. These are the best blankets in the world, or whatever. Notice. And then go to sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, reread that gratitude list and see how you feel tomorrow just from that. And it's sometimes just intentionally shifting an attitude can help. I'm not saying everything has to be, sparkly, rosy, shiny, but it really does help to have a, gratefulness or appreciation before we go to sleep. Excuse me. Diana says, becoming witness to self. Exactly. Exactly. Becoming witness to self and having interest in who that person is. And it really helps everything. Violet says pushing away our emotions was a huge part of survival. It absolutely was. I did so much. I became an empty vessel. It was like a robot. So awful. I'm so sorry for you that you've had that experience and that is a normal because but you can change it. You can awaken feeling and you can find a space where feeling is safe. If you like, sometimes a therapist's office is a great place, or coaching, with someone can help, just to have somebody to be a safe space for you to feel for an hour, and a journal can be a safe space to feel. So things like that, because once you start awakening feeling and it all starts coming out, but that's a part of yourself you're seeing, but it also can be, like what to do with it. Diana says, yes, I'm trying to get through the numbness. Yeah. Yeah. And you're being agreed with wholeheartedly, Violet, and I'm sure you can see that more than I can. 'Cause, numbness is definitely something I felt, Diane. Yes. Violet says, for me, it was during the devalue stage, and I couldn't figure out what he needed because he kept changing. Absolutely. And then you shut down, Right. Right. And that's a powerful survival skill. I tell myself I don't need it every day. I can pack it away for when I do need it. I know how to do it. I can do it in 5 seconds flat, detach from like that and shut down because I'm good at it. But I don't need it every day. And so I've had to tell myself, okay, this is a survival skill. It'd be akin to carrying every piece of survival equipment you have on your back all day long. You don't need it every day. And you're not going to lose it as a skill. It's always going to be there as a skill. So discovering that does not need to be a way of life, that self-care can be a way of life. Excuse me. And finding your worth can be a way of life, and then sharing, we talk about all this self-care and all this self, but the whole point as an empath is what happens is then you have something to share with other people without the need for validation back. It's an incredible experience to be able to give to people. Like sitting here right now, I love that you guys are here because it makes it so much better to have people to talk to. But the validation of, like, I don't need people to sit there praising me for being here. I mean, whatever, right? It's giving out to other people from a space of being comfortable with myself is, I can't describe it really, but I think it's a good aim, and I think it's totally possible. You may not think so, but it is. I am missing things here. Let's see. You guys are chatting. Let's see. Diana says, I had a visual today of visiting my various aged self along my timeline, reaching out my hand to the parts I left behind. That's interesting. So you were visiting various age self. Okay. Were they like children, like younger, or did you go into the future too and reach out your hand to them? That's lovely vision. If you draw or anything, that would be a beautiful, or paint, it'd be a beautiful image to create. If not, I hope you journaled that, because that's a lovely vision. And I'm wondering what you felt when you did that. Violet says, thank you for saying it's a powerful skill. Yes. And loving the empowerment versus feeling ashamed. And it's a process. Don't beat yourself up because it takes time. I don't know, where you're at with your healing. It sounds like this is something you're struggling with, Violet, maybe, but because you're posting about it. But it can be, um, it can take time, and it's in layers, and it's in like one part of your life might start going smooth. I was just talking about this with someone today, that one part of your life, you've got it all of a sudden, and you got it, and then something else comes in, and it's like starting over. And it's okay. You just keep applying the same things, and trying new things to work toward a positive aim for yourself, and it does start to build on itself. um, and it isn't like, do a little self-care and you feel better tomorrow. Although what I'm suggesting to Cindy might help her feel a little bit better tomorrow. Gratitude lists are powerful. So yeah, I'm hoping that, stick with it, stick with yourself, and be your friend, and you can do a lot. Let's see. Ooh, yes, a drawing. Okay. Diane says, more the past than the future, but I love the future visiting too. She felt nervous and excited, like there are parts of me that I neglected. Okay. And there are more, ah, and more that are cranky, but it felt like a first small step. That's really great. Yeah, I like that. That image is great. And gratitude is very important. Yes. You do love to paint and draw. Oh, yeah. If you do, please come share it if you don't mind, because I love that. That image is like, it's really great. Um, I had a similar, like, not an image like that last week of myself as a child. I had like a memory of being a child, and I think I was probably maybe 7, and I was really upset about something, and I was kind of shut down and dissociated and not wanting to share what was wrong. And I can remember crying and crying and crying and crying. That's all I remember. I remember being like in a little ball, and I can picture myself like a little kid curled up, when kids cry hysterically or they're just crying and crying, and they repeat whatever it is that's upsetting them, but it's not really the issue of what's upsetting them. And I can remember telling myself, it's okay, grown up, you knows what to do. When you're grown up, you're going to know how to fix this. I have no idea what that meant, or, at the time, and I don't, it's a clear memory, so I don't think I'm making it up, but um, it's very similar to what you're saying about reaching out, reaching back. When I think of that image and I picture myself reaching back to her, that, and telling her, yeah, isn't that powerful? And yeah, it came like, oh, I remember that feeling. How strange. I wonder what was I thinking then? How did I know that? And um, you're not trusting the adults in my life, but knowing that I could be that adult. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it was a good one. But I love it combined with what Diana was talking about too. So if you do paint it or draw it, if you get so inspired, please share it. Even if it's just with me, I want to see. Um, yeah, what time have we got here? Okay, I have about 3 or 4 minutes, and then I have a group. So anybody else have anything they want to talk about, or any questions about stuff we've been talking about, or new questions? That's really interesting. Diana says, I let my inner child release like that first, alone in my house. Yeah, it was intense, and I would look crazy. Yeah, but it was potent. Thank you for the encouragement. Yes, I love it. I love that you had that image. That's yeah, and I like the hands reaching. That's a kind of a powerful. It's a great image. Anyway, sorry, I'm babbling now. Um, Anything else before I head out off to group? Okay, so for anyone watching, oh, Violet says, it's interesting. I think the whole chat is validating. Excellent. Yes. It was a narc husband that led to my diagnosis of DID. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's, the layers of healing that happen after you've had abuse like that. And when you finally reach the point where enough is enough. I don't know if that's what it was for you, Violet, or not, but like enough is enough can shake up this need to heal. And so, keep working toward it. Um, Thank you for the live. Much love. I'll see you at the launch. Okay. Yes. Nicole, no, I don't. I just want to tell you that you are absolutely one of the most beautiful souls I've met. You are loved and appreciated so much, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Um, Diana says, oh, ah, I mean, repeating like a child to get the pain out. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the chat. You're welcome. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate everyone coming in and talking to me. It's great. Thank you all. Let's see, Nicole. Ladies, I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for being so strong. It's an amazing tribe. It really is. And we are, unfortunately, there's too many of us, but here we are, right? Yes, I know. And Tam loves you all too. So as far as groups go, I have a self-care group. I have a trauma bond group. It's not a trauma bond group. It's recovering from a trauma bond group. We don't trauma bond there. We try to shake that off. And actually, it's refocusing. When you're trauma bonded, is trying to get the focus back on you. And then I have one for the self-care, like I said, which is it's like the foundation of everything, in my opinion, as far as going forward after abuse. And then after that, there is a self-reflection group, which I call inner transformation group, which is basically all kind of the stuff we're talking about now. This inner child stuff and the finding your worth and finding your value. And then I have another group, another series that is the personal power series. Right now, we're ending the boundaries, which will repeat again in 6 months. And we will begin self-esteem in a week. So look for that if you guys are interested or if anyone's interested. And then again, don't forget to go over to the event for the book, Evolution of Echo. It's on Facebook. It is linked on everywhere. Angie has it all over the place, so it should be easy to find. But don't forget to check in. And if you are interested at all in any of the coaches, myself, Colleen, or Misty, we all have different giveaways for coaching sessions. And Angie has lots of giveaways as well. I can't remember what all hers are. There's prizes and books and all kinds of stuff. And then just, and saying hi, it's nice over there. and get the book because it's really good. It's wonderful. And, the incredible honesty these women shared and the incredible vulnerability they allowed themselves to have the experience of writing that. They're sitting alone in now I'm gonna cry. They're sitting alone in their homes writing their story, and the vulnerability that must have taken to know that you're writing this for other people and you're writing this for yourself at the same time, and you're writing this to help others, but at the same time exposing yourself to the world like that's huge. And super proud of them for doing that. So anyway, that's it for tonight, and I will let you guys have a good night. Hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.